There's a version of stuck nobody talks about. Not the lazy version, not the quitting version. The version where your schedule is full, your habits are locked, you're doing everything right, and you are going nowhere. You already know which version this is. It's called discipline. You're not lazy, you're not undisciplined. You're probably one of the most consistent, most structured people you know. And you're still stuck, not despite your discipline, because of it. This is what that means. There's a difference between discipline and direction. Almost nobody teaches it. Discipline is the engine. Direction tells your engine where to go. You can build the most powerful engine in the world and aim it at a wall. It'll hit that wall with extraordinary efficiency. That's not an engine problem. That's your direction problem. Most self-improvement content sells you a better engine, more systems, tighter habits. Earlier mornings, your engine gets stronger. The wall gets closer. Peter Drucker, one of the most cited management thinkers in the world, said it straight. There is nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. Efficiency without direction isn't your progress. It's a faster way to arrive somewhere you never wanted to be. Think about what that actually looks like. Someone wakes up at 5 a.m. every day for 3 years, works out, journals, reads, produces. Their discipline is real. Nobody can question it. And at the end of year 3, they look at their life and feel a weight they can't name. Not regret, not failure, something quieter. They've been building hard, consistently, with everything they have. They just never stopped to ask what they were building toward. More engine, no destination. That's not a discipline problem. That's a direction problem. And here's the part that makes it so hard to see. When you feel that weight at the end of year 3, that quiet thing you can't name, your first instinct isn't to question the discipline, it's to fix it. Wake up earlier, push harder, add the habit you've been putting off. Because discipline is the one thing that's never let you down. The one thing you know how to do. The one thing that feels like progress, even when nothing changes. So you go back to it. The engine gets stronger. The wall gets closer. The weight gets heavier. And you keep going. Because stopping would mean asking the question. And the question is the thing you built the schedule to avoid. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Think about your last 90 days. How much of it looked like discipline? Wake up, work, stay consistent, push through. Now ask yourself a different question. 90 days from now, if you keep doing exactly this, will you be closer to who you actually want to become? Not more productive, not more consistent, closer to who you want to become. If your answer is yes, this video isn't for you. But if you felt something just now, a pause, a flicker of discomfort, that's not your weakness. That's the question your discipline has been keeping you from sitting with. Discipline is keeping you stuck, and your schedule is the proof. Here's what nobody in self-improvement will say out loud. Your discipline is one of the most effective shields ever built. Not a tool, it's your shield. When someone questions why you're not where you want to be, including you can point to the discipline. 5 a.m., no phone, deep work. I'm doing everything right. Your discipline becomes your defense against the question, against the discomfort, against the thing underneath your schedule you haven't answered yet. This is the part that's hard to admit, because the shield feels like virtue. It looks like virtue. Everyone around you sees the discipline and respects it. You respect it. And so the shield stays up, perfectly polished, perfectly opaque, and underneath it, untouched, unanswered, getting heavier every year, is the question you built the shield to avoid. You already know what you're avoiding. Not in the abstract, specifically. There's a question you haven't answered, a direction you haven't committed to, a version of yourself you keep postponing, and your schedule stays full enough that you never have to sit with it. Psychologists call it productive procrastination, staying genuinely busy on real, legitimate work to avoid a specific question that creates anxiety. Your busyness isn't fake. Your avoidance is real. Your discipline doesn't protect you from productive procrastination. In many cases, your discipline is productive procrastination. Most people, when they feel stuck, add more habits, tighter systems, earlier mornings, as if a stronger engine answers the question of where you're going. Be honest. You know that's not working. What are you actually building? Not producing, not outputting, not optimizing. Building. There's a word for what happens when you apply the same input and expect a different outcome. You already know it. Your schedule fills, your habits lock, your output is real, and you don't change. You perform every day with increasing efficiency in the same place. Here's what was actually happening. Your system was running, and you were watching it run. Your output was up. Your direction was unclear. Your schedule was full. You were stuck because your discipline and your self-knowledge aren't the same thing. Your discipline tells you how to move. It doesn't tell you who to become. When you separate those two, when your how gets locked but your who never gets decided, your discipline becomes the most elegant cage you've ever built yourself. And here's what nobody tells you about that cage. You don't stop being ambitious inside it. You redirect the ambition. Instead of asking who you want to become, you ask how to optimize the cage. Better habits, tighter systems, a more efficient version of exactly who you already are. The ambition is still there. It's just been repurposed. From building a life you chose to perfecting a life you inherited by default. That is what misdirected discipline costs you. Not energy, not time. The version of yourself you never got around to building. And here's the cruelest part. The more disciplined you are, the less you question it. A person who isn't disciplined hits a wall and asks, "Is this working?" A disciplined person hits the same wall and says, "I just need to push harder." The discipline becomes its own protection. The cage gets better maintained. The person inside it gets quieter. That's the trap nobody warns you about. The discipline doesn't feel like the problem. It feels like the solution. So you use more of it, and nothing changes, and you use more still. Discipline is keeping you stuck, not because you're weak, because you're busy. Viktor Frankl spent years studying what separates people who survive and grow from those who endure and stop. His finding wasn't discipline. It was what he called a why, a direction that made the effort coherent. Without your why, even your most extraordinary effort becomes noise. So what is the question you haven't asked yourself? One word in the comments, the habit you're most disciplined about right now. One word. We'll come back to why that matters. There are two kinds of discipline. Most channels only sell you the first. The first is what they sell. Your habits, your systems, your output, your momentum. This kind keeps you moving. The second kind almost nobody talks about. The discipline to stop, to sit with your question instead of your schedule, to choose your direction instead of maintaining your speed. The first kind answers how. The second decides where. Without both, your first kind becomes a very productive way to go nowhere. James Clear makes one distinction in Atomic Habits that most people read and skip past. Outcome-based habits. I want to run a marathon. Identity-based habits. I am a runner. Your effort is the same. But one completes a task, the other builds a person. Your discipline is aimed at tasks. The person underneath your tasks never gets built. Most people keep adding habits when they feel stuck. You know exactly where that leads. But the people who stop, who ask the harder question, they find something. They aim their discipline at who they want to become. That's not less disciplined. That's your discipline finally pointed somewhere real. And here's where it gets clear. Most people have never answered the identity question. Not because they're shallow, because nobody taught them it was a question worth asking. You have career goals, fitness goals, financial goals. You can describe exactly where you want to be in those categories 5 years from now. But if someone asked you not what you want to achieve, but who you want to become, would you have an answer? Not the LinkedIn version, not the version you tell people at dinner. The actual answer: who do you want to be? What do you want to care about? What do you want to stand for? Who do you want to be when the results don't come? When nobody's watching? When the schedule falls apart for a week? Here's a simpler version of the same question. At the end of your life, not next year, not in 5 years at the actual end, what do you want to have been? Not what you want to have achieved. Not what you want to have built or earned or produced. What do you want to have been? Most people have never sat with that for more than 30 seconds because it surfaces things the schedule is designed to keep buried. It asks you to value some things over other things, to choose. And choosing means acknowledging what you're not choosing, what you're letting go of. The version of yourself that kept every option open, disciplined, capable, technically ready for anything, that version doesn't survive an honest answer. Most people have never sat with those questions. Not really, because they're harder than any 5 a.m., harder than any cold shower, harder than any 90-day challenge. They require you to choose. And choosing means giving up the version of yourself that keeps all options open. Your discipline has kept all your options open. Because if you never commit to a direction, you can never fail to reach it. That's the real trap. Not lack of discipline. The discipline you built to avoid choosing. You already know what you're avoiding. There's a version of yourself you haven't committed to yet. Not because you can't. Because committing means letting go of the version you've been efficiently performing. And that is terrifying. Not because you're weak, because you built the current version with real effort. Your discipline is real. Your output is real. Your effort is real. And it's aimed at a version of yourself you never consciously chose. That's your trap. Not laziness, not lack of discipline. Your misdirected discipline. Discipline is keeping you stuck. The question underneath your locked-in schedule is one you've never asked yourself. Not, am I disciplined enough? Not, am I working hard enough? You've answered those. The answer is yes. The question is, who am I becoming? Your discipline answers how. It doesn't answer who. When your how is locked and your who is blank, your discipline fills that blank with itself. You become disciplined. That becomes your identity. And your discipline, serving only itself, is just motion with better branding. Psychologist Gabriele Oettingen's research on goal pursuit found that people who were intensely focused on activity but hadn't defined their desired identity reported lower sense of progress even when their output was measurably high. More done, less growth. Because effort without identity direction produces output, not transformation. Here's what that looks like in practice. 2 people, same discipline, same morning routine, same output. 3 years later, one of them is growing, not just producing more, but actually becoming someone different. The other is exactly where they were, just more efficiently. The difference wasn't effort, it wasn't willpower. One of them answered the identity question. The other kept adding tasks. Here's what answering it actually looked like. They didn't overhaul their routine overnight. They kept the 5 a.m., kept the deep work, but they started cutting the things that didn't connect to who they were building. Slowly, without drama, one habit at a time. And the things they cut, they didn't feel like sacrifice. They felt like relief, like setting down a weight they'd been carrying for years without ever asking why. That relief is the signal. That's your discipline recognizing the cage. That's the moment it stops being a trap and starts being a tool. Be honest. How long have you aimed your discipline at something you never decided you actually wanted? You feel it, in the quiet, after your schedule ends, when nothing's left to optimize. You feel it. Here's what to do with it. Stop adding habits for 30 days. Keep everything you have, every single piece of it, and add one thing. Every morning, before your engine starts, ask this: who do I want to be a year from now? And is what I'm about to do today building that person? Is it building the person you actually want to become? 30 seconds, before anything else. Most people skip this. They start their schedule, they hit their list, they feel productive. They stay stuck. But if you answer your question, you find something real. Your best habits survive. The ones actually building you feel obvious. You know in your gut which ones they are. You've always known. The question just gave you permission to see it clearly. The ones keeping you busy feel hollow. That hollow feeling isn't failure, it's signal. It's your discipline finally being honest with you about where it's been pointed. And when you feel it, don't add another habit. Don't build a new system around it. Sit with it. Ask, what would I do if this space in my schedule was aimed at who I actually want to become? That question will scare you. Good. That's where the real work starts. Because when you answer it honestly, not the polished version, the actual answer, two things happen. First, you'll see that some of what you've been doing connects directly to who you want to become. Those things won't feel hollow. They'll feel obvious, clear, in a way they haven't been in years. Keep them. Double down on them. Second, you'll see the rest. The habits you built for someone else's version of success. The systems you optimized because they felt like progress. You'll see them for what they are. Let them go. Not with guilt, with clarity. You're not giving up on yourself. You're finally choosing yourself. Discipline is keeping you stuck. Only until you tell it where to go. Your question was never, am I disciplined enough? Your question was always, disciplined toward what? Answer that. Lock in. Everything else is just motion. The most disciplined people in any room aren't always the ones growing fastest. Often they're the ones who've perfected staying in place.